Okay, welcome everybody to the end of year exhibition for British High School of Art and Design's foundation programme. Thank you very much for taking the time to join us. My name is Sean Kay. I'm the programme leader for Foundation, and the students whose work you're going to see today have studied on the one-year foundation programme, and this is the culmination of their year. So I'm briefly going to introduce the foundation course itself. Then each of the four pathway leaders will give a short introduction to the pathway that they run, and they'll each be joined by a student who will talk about their independent project. So that will be the first bit of the presentation that's in the webinar channel that you're in at the moment. And then at the end of that, you'll be able to join pathway specific conference rooms to hear the other students talk about their projects. And you should have received the links for those in the email, but they're also in the chat in the webinar channel. And when you join one, the links will be further in the chat of the conference panels as well. So you can move between 3D design, fine art, fashion textiles, and the communication design conference channels. So the foundation course that we run at British High School of Art and Design is designed to develop students' understanding of the world of art and design. And through it, they have an engagement with practical projects, problem solving, and critical thinking. So the course is studied in 3 stages. So it gradually moves from being quite predominantly staff-led during stage 1 to a situation where students are able to develop projects wholly independently by stage 3, stage 3 that we're going to see today. So the emphasis is really on developing independence as a vital preparation for degree level study. And the exhibition is a culmination of the work that is produced in stage 3 in the independent project. So students are asked to carry out a project that encourages them to bring together the ideas and the working methods that they've developed throughout stages 1 and 2 of the programme. And during this period, they receive quite intensive critical feedback through a series of critiques and tutorials. Due to the regulations that are currently in place because of coronavirus, the school has been closed since the 17th of March. So this constitutes the whole of the stage 3 period of the independent project. So because of that, obviously we would normally have had an exhibition that would have opened to the public tonight. And that exhibition is now a series of 124 individual exhibitions in students' apartments, dachas and gardens that is being launched on the website, and the exhibition is titled Homework. And it's really a response to the situation that we find ourselves in, but it also draws on Moscow's rich tradition of apartment exhibitions. The history of contemporary art practice in exhibition making in the city of Moscow during the 1970s and 1980s, while still a part of the former Soviet Union. So many artists utilize their own apartments in order to generate a dialogue with small like-minded audience, often with other artists. These included the Moscow conceptualists and the generation of artists that directly followed them, who became known as act art. And it seemed appropriate in these strange times in a Russian art school where the language we use to teach is English, that we should look at act art as a model of practice. So the primary audience for each of the students' apartment exhibitions is those that they share their apartment, their house, or their dacha with, so their immediate family, their partner, or their housemates. And the website that we're launching tonight collects together those 124 apartment exhibitions and allows a secondary audience to experience these fine works. So really, I'd really like to congratulate the students of the foundation programme for the high level of work that they've managed to achieve under such extreme conditions. So I'm going to try and show you some of that work now by so this is the website. So this is what you will see. We'll hope that you'll visit this and explore the students' work in a bit more depth. There's a section that explains about the exhibition, where the idea for the apartment exhibitions came from, and the history of Moscow conceptualism and act art. And then that takes us to a series of pathway pages. So again, I'll just briefly show you some of these. So Anna's series of performances are recorded as videos, but also the remnants of those performances are recorded photographically, and the photographs then displayed within Anna's apartment. If you go onto the website, the videos obviously play, and there's sound on. We found that on the webinars, the sound is quite difficult to get it to broadcast. So I'm guessing you're not really experiencing the sound of this very well. So I'm going to play a little fragments of some of these, and then let you go back to them yourselves on the website. So Paulina's show is a show of a series of paintings called Blur, where she's painting different parts of her apartment, and then making a painting of the last painting and a painting of the one before it. So there are a series of paintings that look at the painting that's preceding it, but they're actually shown next to the space that they were painted from as well. So Maria's fashion project looks at garments being made from items that are found in her apartment. And again, I'm going to let you go back in and look at these yourselves later on, and you'll be able to hear the students in the conference rooms later on talk about these projects. So these sort of employ patchwork and weaving. So this is Eva's project. So this is a computer game, and again, if you visit the website, there's a link to download the game so that you can go back on and play that later on. That's Daria's project. And this is another video project, but obviously the video is being sort of watched outside as well. So in this project of Maria's, these transparent cubes with lenses in have been constructed over the windows that allow Maria to see through these windows and have images projected back into the space again. And Alina's project responds to the social distancing that needs to be kept as well. So again, another interiors project that starts to look at how the space can be delineated. So I'm going to hand over to the pathway leaders of the specialist pathways. So we're going to talk to you a little bit about their pathway that they run, and they'll have a student from that pathway with them who's going to talk a little bit about their projects before we go to the conference rooms. Okay, if I can hand over to Julia Pekalina.
Thank you, Sean. Okay. My name is Julia Pekalina, and I'm the pathway leader of fashion and textiles. First of all, congratulations everyone on the exhibition opening. We've never worked under such extreme conditions before, and I believe that we've demonstrated in our work our ability to face challenges, stay open-minded, and of course find creative solutions with resource constraints. I want to thank staff members of the pathway, Lena Gatsenko and Daria Shariko, who've been working really hard to make students achieve their full potential. Secondly, I want to say a few words about the pathway. The pathway curriculum is designed in a way that students can try themselves in both fashion and textiles before they make a decision about the BA program. What ties fashion and textiles areas together is the design and manipulation of fabric, from textile designers who create and enhance fabric surfaces to fashion designers who work on the body as a visible surface. On the pathway, we strive to develop a combination of creative, technical, intellectual, and communication skills, as we want our students to be not only good makers, but critical thinkers. Therefore, we encourage them to question the conventional standards and stereotypes and reflect on them in the work. Finally, I want to admit that all of us, including students and staff, had a great chance to realize how important the supportive and trustful relationships within the community are. That's what we aim to create, along with the celebration of everyone's personality. Self-motivation is another key thing for a successful career in the art and design area, and I believe that lockdown only helped to stimulate creativity as long as the inner motivation and ambition were present in the studio. Now I think it's time to let one of my students, who is a lively example of what I just stated, to present the body of work she's produced over the last 3 months for the Stage 3 project. So today Nina is with me. Hi, Nina, and
Hi.
Thank you for joining me for the presentation. Nina, I'd like you first introduce your work to the audience and talk about your initial inspiration, starting points for the project, and also talk about where you began your experiments from.
So, hello everyone. In the beginning of my project, I was so keen on exploring something natural. So I combined 2 different topics: the Eastern theory of body meridians, which is a concept in traditional Chinese medicine. I was so inspired by this idea of flow of energy and tried to show this continuity of lines which goes from head to legs. The second part of my project was dedicated to the idea of healing with plants, and I explore South Korea beauty industry. In order to prove that plants are a significant part of a human, I raised the questions of how I can produce materials which will heal our skin, and what kind of plants should I use. So by experimenting, I wanted to achieve the same moisturizing effect which Korean beauty masks give to our skin. So I started from boiling rose petals, tree spruces, and then I had an idea of growing my own living organism at home. So I grew kombucha mushrooms and laminated flowers between layers. So it was my first large-scale sample I made out of kombucha blocks and laminated flowers between layers. So, but the sample didn't meet my wishes regarding the cuts, so I continued to explore different options and go more to the leather from different fruits and vegetables. So I tried to produce fabric from pear, oranges, apples, tomatoes. Also add some food paints to their fabrics, create ginger fabrics, aloe, carrot, and finally grape. My aim was to create strong fabrics. That's why I tried to improve qualities, and by experimenting with the large scale, I improved step by step by adding something new. So I experimented with colors as well.
And also, as all other students, you face the problem of the lack of access to technical workshops and even some basic equipment like sewing machines and mannequins. And I know that you're finding your own ways to create and maintain the working environment at your own apartments. So can you say a few words about it?
I'm really grateful for the opportunity to be creative during the quarantine, because it gives me like more opportunities to work, and I challenged myself with almost everything. I tried to remake old clothes. I tried to weave own threads from plants and grass. So also I produced fabrics, and I create, especially for the process of drying, I create glass blocks with some tape. I dried my samples in this shape. So as well, regarding the equipment, I had no mannequin, so I created it myself as well. So I can work with the cut of the costume, and I would say that quarantine checked my ability to survive in the world of fashion.
Yeah, that's amazing. Thank you. And also, you know, as for textile making, garment making, what do you enjoy the most about the process? From like what I noticed from having been teaching you for the whole year is that in your work and in this particular project, you often deal with eco-friendly materials, dyeing techniques, recycling. So I'm wondering, is it something you want to pursue in your future practice?
Actually, I was so involved in this crafting process. So I would say that the most exciting thing for me was this feeling when you sit in a room like a scientist and carry out some chemical experiments. Also, regarding the cut, I've always liked to collect puzzles. So in this project, I created my own puzzles, which I was gathering all 2 months. As you said, it's really true that I've always felt passionate about sustainability, and I really believe that it's a key in the future of fashion. Not only fashion actually, but every area of design. So I hope that in my future work I will continue to experiment a lot with materials. Actually, thanks for this project, I found so many exciting designers who work with innovative materials, and I feel myself in their way. So probably it's what I want to achieve in the future.
Great. Yeah, that was great. Thank you very much. I think, yeah, that was awesome. Thank you, Nina.
Thank you for attention.
Okay, Yulia, are you finished? Yeah. Okay, so hello, I'm Pamela McBain.
And hello, I'm Fergus Channon.
And we're the pathway leaders for 3D and spatial design.
And we'd also like to thank our other colleague who's been working up with us in this final stage, David Bustamante.
Hello.
Been much fun. Hey! And we also like to congratulate all of our students on the pathway and for their positive and committed attitude over these past few months, which have been incredibly challenging for all of us. We have really enjoyed all of the tutorials that we've had with them, and there's been quite a lot of laughter, which is really, really fun. And we're very proud of all of you.
So during these strange times, our students have needed to be so resourceful and innovative in how they develop their projects. With no access to the college professional equipment workshops, they've been working with what they can find around them at home. Normally at this time out of year, our students are on the laser cutter, the CNC machine and the machine shop working alongside technicians. Instead, they've had to be incredibly resourceful, inventive and determined. They've stretched their existing skills and many of them have quickly mastered new ones. SketchUp and AutoCAD in particular allow them to further develop their project investigation.
And it feels like ever more so that our students are now equipped to go on to their BAs of IAD, architectural design and product industrial design. They've become far more independent and able to make intelligent and pragmatic decisions for themselves and to develop their ideas through prototyping. They explored projects that required them to develop an understanding of the user with empathy and analysed in detail everyday routines such as rituals. They made on-site surveys and explored potential of working with existing spaces. Through prototyping and testing, they problem solved and responded innovatively to the challenges they were set and became much more involved in the importance of research. Yeah, we're really quite impressed by the diversity of their work. I'd like to introduce you to one of our students who's going to go on to study product design. His name's Ivan Frolov, and I'm just going to find him, and he will introduce you to his project. 1 second, let me just spotlight him, so you should be able to see him. Hello, Ivan.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, welcome to my exhibition area. It's too sunny today. I don't know how you will see it. Okay, my product is designed for people who wouldn't be able to be away from pets. Especially I focused on small animals like mice. I think that I coped with this goal quite successful by using a very usual shape bottle, simple one. I use it, yeah, I produced like that. And I think that it is more successful one because you can put it inside usual equipment for traveling, like a backpack. Yeah, I will rotate it. Like backpack. In the bike and inside the car. It becomes easier to transport it with you, but there's no just a base for a bottle. It's a modular system units which could be combined together, and we can get a modular structure which could create an environment for pet, and by connecting it together, and for owners as well. Yeah.
Thanks, Ivan. Just obviously, same with all of our pathways. We've had a real difficulty in using facilities and workshops. And how have you overcome this? We all see that you have, you've worked in different materials. Can you explain how you would take this project forward if you had the access to the facilities?
Yeah, my primary design was have a natural shapes, and it was smooth. But I produced it as a 3D model in the application, and as just a mock-up for looking after shape. But I put a goal for myself that I should produce it in real life in current situation. So this was my restriction, and I put myself target to produce a workshop here from materials which I have in my garage, and moreover, I understood that restrictions is very important part of design. We need to use it because it helps you to improve it in better way. It's very challenging, but really help you in production, because now when I produce that model, I know with restrictions, with problems, I spend a lot of time on cut every circle of it, and now I have a lot of experience of it, and could produce final design with materials and machines. So I remove my constraints, and I can improve it in twice. Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Well done. Well done, Vanya. That's it.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Well done.
Yeah, come to my room and ask me a question if you have.
You're on mute, Val.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
But
Sorry.
I can tell you how I can improve it in future if you want. I think that I can back in Britain and push it forward by using materials like aluminum or plastic, and use machines like CNC milling or 3D printing for upgrade it, because as I said, I have a lot of thoughts how I can improve it. Like, I don't like the caps which I have, and I already know how I can rotate it and use which material can I use for produce the final design.
Brilliant. Thank you. Good work, Vanya. All right. I think we're finished.
Yep. Who's next?
Okay. Hello. My name is Valentin, and I'm senior lecturer in fine art. And I'm going to talk a little bit about fine art as a discipline, as it is a relatively kind of young sort of visual arts, fast growing discipline in Moscow. But before I start, I want to say that we are really proud of our fine art students. They've done a fantastic job, and I want to thank them so much. And I also want to thank all the contributors to the fine art department, who are Sean Kay, whom you've seen earlier, and Carlos do Nascimento, who's been helping massively during this very difficult period, and of course Oleg Kuznetsov. So I would like to begin with a quote from Michael Craig Martin, who once said that the most fascinating thing about art is diversity, and the main objective of the fine art pathway is to nurture diversity not only of the individual but also of the means of expressions and the ways of transmitting these expressions to an audience. Fine art also looks after things which people do not ask for because they think they don't need, but they can't have a good life without. It's very difficult to actually have a clear definition of fine art because it's very mercurial. It changes all the time because society changes as we speak. That's why fine artists have to always be connected to what's happening in society on many different levels and be aware of the time and the place they occupy. Fine artists are part of society and they serve society. And according to that, our pathway is sort of designed to progressively provide students with the means to undertake self-directed work across a broad-ranging discipline and fastly growing discipline here in Moscow. The pathway commences with a series of short projects that invite students to engage with a range of mediums such as photography, video, painting, drawing, sculpture, and performance. And later on, through a very rigorous program of group critiques and individual tutorials, the students will begin to develop the independent projects, which are of course negotiated with staff through a tutorial system. There's many wonderful things we do on the fine art pathway, but one of the things that we introduced this year, and I would like to mention this because it's gone very, very well and the students have really enjoyed it, and I think they benefited immensely from this scheme, is the Tuesday interview, which is a weekly event where students research the work of an internationally established artist each week and prepare a set of questions to ask that artist at a Zoom interview. The scheme includes young artists as well as well-known ones who are represented by some of the most influential galleries in the world. And I would like to thank Sean Kay and Misha Levin for contributing to this program. I can say many things about fine art, but I think the students are the most important thing tonight. And I would like to introduce one of our wonderful fine art students, Dasha Lapchinova, who would perhaps say a few things about the project, which you can see in its entirety, obviously, on the website, but we're just going to show you a little clip from one of Dasha's wonderful videos. I want to start with a question, Dasha. Hello, Dasha.
Hello.
Hello. The question would be like, or what triggered really, and how did you start this project, and how you actually changed over this period of the lockdown?
Okay, so I had two main starting points in my project. At first, I read the book by Haruki Murakami called After Dark, and I got really obsessed with this environment and also with this idea about the city that slips into another reality at night. Also, another starting point was psychogeography as a term that describes an influence that certain landscape can have on our behavior and our feelings. So, of course, during the lockdown, I had to limit my investigation to the area that really not much that I can see from my window. So it kind of naturally transformed my project into mixing outside and inside environment. So it led me to this idea of liminality as a state in between outside and inside, and also about the night as a time between two days.
Okay, that's great. Dasha, can we see a little sample of your film?
Let me start. Just a moment.
I want to apologize to everybody. Obviously, the Zoom quality is not the optimal quality, but I invite you to view Dasha's 3 versions of the film actually on the website. Okay, that's wonderful, Dasha. Thank you very much. As I said, Dasha has 3 versions of, well, it's the same video, but it's shown from different angles. So please visit the website. Dasha, just one more question. I forgot to mention, actually, one of the main characteristics of the fine art pathway is the notion of play. And in your description for this video, you actually have a little kind of terminology game here. You refer to this work as a video painting. Would you like to say just a couple of words about this?
Well, actually, for me, it's about digital camera, digital as a medium. Because when you film with digital camera at night, the color noise, it's something that appears naturally. As Pippilotti Reed says in one of her interviews, color noise is actually something that adds painterly quality to the video. She kind of compares it with watercolor painting. So this kind of got me thinking about the video being moving painting. Also, my work is not a film with distinct plot. It's more like a non-narrative video, which is free for interpretation. So it's video painting. Yeah.
It's a video painting, yeah. That's wonderful. Thank you, Dasha.
Thank you.
Okay, of course, we waiting everybody to come and visit the fine art website. Thank you very much, guys, and thanks for attending. And Doug, all yours.
Hello. Okay, can everyone hear me? Yeah, I'm not muted. Cool. Good afternoon or good evening, people I know and people I don't know. My name is Doug Bowen and I'm the pathway leader of communication design. Before I begin, I'd like to shout out the incredibly talented and intelligent women that have taught on the pathway with me this year. Alina Rodionova and Dasha Chukrova, and also not to mention the visiting lecturers Ksenia Kalchenko, Ksenia Kapalova and Jana Berekatova. And also shout out to the hardworking and versatile students of 2020. Congratulations on the exhibition, and you'll definitely be a memorable year for all of us. So communication design is underpinned by communication and exists to help other people understand and make sense of the world around them. Communication design will always be a dialogue between groups of people, and it can inform, amuse, instruct, educate, advocate, sell, convince, enlighten, empower, entertain, transform, advise, or incite. It's extremely diverse, depending on the message, function, distribution, and audience. You'll see that it can be a single image, an object, a publication, a 3-second GIF, a short film, a game, or much more. And it can be seen everywhere. Depending on what the function, distribution, and audience is, impacts the way in which design is seen. So generally speaking, this is either in printed media, like books and magazines, or on screen in like film, animation, TV, motion graphics, or in the environment of like posters and billboards and signage or something like that. The pathway allows students to gain an understanding in graphic design, illustration, or commercial photography prior to specializing and selecting what BA to study. Within these disciplines, the focus of our projects is on communication and problem solving. Primarily, students search for and identify a problem before embarking on a journey to find unexpected and multiple solutions. The work will always have a function and will communicate an idea. Before or prior to the independent project, we've done a collaborative project with an art school in Beijing. We've had a field trip to Bukovedi, Russian commercial printers. A project focused on the most boring place in Moscow. We've done interviews and talks with illustrators and designers from Athens, Berlin, London, and Tallinn. We also had workshops from current BA third year students who Also have a great online exhibition on at the moment that you should check out. The website is classof2020.online. Plus we've had another like 7 briefs, and also along with all the other pathways, we had a study trip to Madrid, all in the short space of like 6 months. So it's been quite full on. Now, I'd like to introduce you to one of our current students, Violetta Panova, to briefly share with you her independent project. So hello, Violetta.
Hi, hello.
I'll hand over to you.
So my project investigates the value of food through disconnecting, magnifying, and distorting our perception. So now we will take a look at the video.
Light. Fruity. Very light. Aftertaste. Jammy ripe.
So this project has made me realize that the value of food is the value that we give to it. I've transformed my understanding of it by altering the value through spending time with food and just using a lot of different processes. Throughout the project, I tried different formats, and the reason why I ended up doing the video was that it conveys our perception through different layers of complex imagery, simple words, and detailed sound. Unlike other formats that have a certain duration with limited information, the video combines a total of 800 images, if not more, that transform over time. And also there's this engaging audio that adds on a texture. And of course, when it came to contextual research, artists like Heather Phillipson, Jenna Sotella, and Abbas Kiarostami have seriously influenced my decisions and have helped me to improve my work.
Thank you. So Sean, are you introduced? Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks, Violetta.
Thank you very much, everybody. We're running very slightly late by about between 5 and 10 minutes. So we've got a series of specialist pathway conference rooms now. If you go onto the link that's in chat, you can open one of those up, so you can either visit the fine art room, 3D spatial design room, fashion textiles, or one of 2 communication design conference rooms. And students will be talking in little groups of 5 about their individual projects. You can ask them questions, and you will be able to move between conference rooms as well. So the chat in the conference room will also have the links for the other conference rooms, so you can move between them. So we hope that we'll see you in one of the conference rooms now. Thank you very much, everybody, for coming.